Welcome back to Scruffy Tales. I I've got a cold, so if I cough or sneeze, I'm sorry. But in today's video, we will take a closer look at the Ukrainian front. So let's get into it. Gonna start off with a strategical overview. 22nd of June. It's close to midnight, so maybe 23rd, still 22nd. Just so you know. And let's head on over to the map. Right, let's see here, the pointer. Here we go. Start off with north of the map here, the border to Russia and Belgrade. Russia has reclaimed territory that was contested by the insurgents inside of Russia. So Russia is putting pressure on the insurrectionists trying to fight Putin inside of Russia. At Kupiansk, we have reports of Russia trying to follow the river south in the woods, possibly to reach a vital highway that might cut off supplies to Ukrainian frontline troops. Could possibly indicate that Russia wants to conduct a small Prince move here along that highway. But there seems to be hard fighting, a bit unconfirmed how far Russia has gotten in those woods. Basically the same down here, Crimea. Russia is pushing hard into the woods down here, the woods following the river. Hard fighting, even made some small gains on the map. But make no mistake about it, Russia is trying to gain ground here. They're trying to gain ground here. And it's not a diversion either, if you ask me. That's part of it, attacking up here. While Ukraine has a lot of troops down here, will obviously force Ukraine to move reinforcements up here that will have to travel a long way. But that's also part of the reason. Russia is hoping to gain a lot of territory while Ukraine is stuck in the main fighting down here, where Russia has built a lot of solid defenses. So like I've said before, Russian generals, they are savage, but they're not stupid. They, I think they've planned to exploit this offensive for quite some time. This is deliberate. They intend to lock Ukraine in place down here so that they can gain all of this territory here east of this river and lake. So yeah, these pushes, they're not for show. They're meant to conquer. Other than that, we have Bakhmut. Fighting is going on. Not much is happening on the map, but Ukraine is trying to push in, and Russia is sending in troops to prevent Bakhmut from falling. Avdiivka, some gains for Ukraine. Not much is happening. They're fighting obviously, but not much happening on the map. Down here, outside of Donetsk, they've been trading ground. Ukraine has taken some ground, Russia has taken some ground. Fighting is ongoing, not much going on. Here, though, Makarivka front line, Ukraine is trying to push up on the high ground between these blue spots, which we will take a close look at because it's interesting development. Same thing going on here north of Polowie. Stuff is happening on the front line, which we will take a closer look at. Orikhiv, not much is going on from what we can tell on the maps. Same thing over here close to the coast. Fighting is ongoing, but not much happening on the maps. So, God damn it. Sorry. Operational overview. Velika Novosilka, the road to the Azov Sea. And that is this area here. So, Velika Novosilka, and this road here is the road that leads all the way down south to the Azov Sea. And this is the beginning. They need to start somewhere, and they need to secure this road. What we have seen is that, according to this map, Ukraine has secured this part of the fields. And this is a gray area where things are contested. There's been rumors or reports of contact between Makarivka and Staromayorsk. Urshina, and this town here, Staromayorsk. There's even been explosions in Makarivka and in Staromayorsk. So fighting ongoing between the towns, and Ukraine is trying to push out into this area here around Rivnopil. And this area has, according to Deep State, been confirmed taken into Ukrainian hands. This map shows, here's Makarivka, Staromayorsk. According to this, Ukraine has pushed all the way up here and are controlling these fields, and the fighting is going on for this road leading between Staromayorsk and Rivnopil. And since we don't have any red markers for Russians attacking, I'm assuming Ukraine is on the offensive here, pushing Russia back, and Russia is doing the best they can to hold the line. See how that goes. Satellite map, Makarivka, Staromayorsk, Rivnopil, and here we have, this is the road, so this is where we should see the Ukrainians pushing in. And as you can see, farmland. Look at all of this, Jesus Christ. This is Rivnopil, if anyone's wondering. It's a small village. You got a couple of buildings here, some here, and some trees, but surrounded by acres and acres upon acres with farmland. Why Russia has decided to hold this little town, I don't know. I believe Russia is doing a fighting retreat, holding ground, inflicting some casualties, and then slowly falling back. As Ukraine follows after, then they might do a flanking maneuver or call in mortars, artillery on their previous positions when Ukraine reaches them. And so it's a bit of a back and forth. But why they are so stubbornly holding this little village, I don't know. It's weird, because right now it feels like they should be falling back since Ukraine has made significant advances. So why is this little village, Rivnopil or whatever it was called, I've forgotten already, so important? Well, it's not the village, it's this. It's a massive hill. It's high ground. Cat in the background. Makarivka, Staromayorsk, and you can see here, blue is where the is a valley, and the red is high ground. So this is what Russia is defending, so they can hold the high ground and threaten Ukrainians in the valley. They can also keep control of a couple of roads in the area from this massive hill. So Ukraine is trying to push up here. God damn it. And you can see here, this is the road. So they're fighting in this area at the moment, trying to secure this hill. It's not the village, but the hill that's important. And it just goes on. Makarivka, Staromayorsk. Russia is defending this hill down here, the highlands or high ground down here, preventing Ukraine from moving down here. So Ukraine can outflank these towns that are under Russian control. So let's take a closer look at the front line here, point of contact. You can tell down here, this is where the maps say Ukraine are. So let's take a look at this area, and this is it. So we can assume Ukraine is moving in from this angle here, from the northeast, with these three lines, and Russia is probably holding this end. I mean, people are wondering why Ukraine isn't making any gains on the ground. I mean, look, what do you mean making any gains? Look at this. What, the moment they drive a tank out here, it's gonna get shot to bits. The moment they try to push down here, and you know, there's gonna be machine guns firing from everyone, from the over here. It's a tough fight. Basically they need to call in every piece of artillery they have on this tree line here and just wipe it off the face of the earth. Yeah, forgot to tell people who are new. My headset shuts down every now and then, so if you hear the beep beep beep, I'll be back in 5 or 6 seconds after I restarted it. Like I said, they need to just call in all the artillery they have and just wipe out each tree line, because then they might actually advance. I don't know what else they can do really, because otherwise it's just going to be what we're seeing. They are. It takes 5 days to gain 100 meters along these tree lines. It's insanity. And moving down to this end of the point of contact, we have the edge of Staromayorsk here. And look at this. Farmland. Seems like a dried lake bed. Tree lines, open fields. I mean, how are they going to advance? Yeah, okay, so they drive up here with the vehicle, start shooting down here, and they fire a missile. Boom, dead. Artillery duels back and forth. There's a reason it's slow going. But yeah, okay, I'll return to that towards the end of the video. But yeah, as you can tell, there's a reason why this is going slow, right? This is not terrain that favors an attacker, if we put it that way. Here we have a couple of funny features in the terrain. Maybe fortified. I mean, if Russia has dug trenches, put up some foxholes, I mean, it's basically a fort. And so is this. Easily targeted by mortars, sure, but still, it is definitely a defensive position in the middle of a field. And if Ukraine wants to move up here, well, they have to deal with this, either with artillery or with vast amount of firepower to suppress them. It's yeah, Christ, it's tough maneuvering in this terrain. And moving down here to the edge of Staromayorsk, we have what looks like warehouses here at the very edge of town. Big fields of farmland, some trees. And I mean, if Russia is in here and they are holding this tree line here, what can Ukraine do? If they're up here, okay, they might exchange fire back and forth, but I mean, drive a vehicle. Like I said, they need to call in every piece of artillery they got, and they need to hit. They need to hit these buildings. They need to hit. They can't miss. They can't shoot here or deviate over here. Everything needs to hit spot on and just obliterate the tree line here and just obliterate these buildings. Then maybe they can start moving in, and then they better hope to God they won't hit a mine. Insanity. Utter insanity. Right, moving on. As you can see, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. They are pushing. This is Makarivka, and this is the high ground they're fighting over, right? They have expanded over here. They have taken territory here. They are holding here and trying to push in. As you can tell on all the maps, they are slowly securing the ground around Urushaina and Staromayorsk. It's slow going, but they're getting there. And as you can tell, here on Ukraine's right flank, they are pushing up onto the high ground, slowly but surely securing it. They appear to have taken quite a lot of the farmland and rivers, streams over here. So they're getting there. It's slowly but surely. Right. Leaving Makarivka and the fighting for the high ground behind us, we're moving on to Polowie, which is an important railway hub that is vital for Ukrainian logistics. And it's located here. So we moved from here down here. And take a look at this. A couple of days ago, this was all we had on the maps, indicating this is the ISW map, by the way. Ukraine advances north of Polowie. And take a look at this. They've gained ground. And this, and I spoke at this, was it this morning or yesterday? Put up a video where I had the theory that Ukraine was trying to push in from the north towards Polowie and from the west towards Polowie. Since it's an important railway hub, it's a massive railway hub, dead center of the town or city, wherever it is. And so if Ukraine wants to move in logistics, troops, ammunition, manpower, this is the town they need. And then they can use the road network from Polowie to just ship everything out with trucks to the front line. But yeah, take a look at this. Very interesting here. And God damn it. Another map showing the same thing. Pushing in. They have secured over here. This is the road down to Tokmak. And over here we have Robotnie. Or is it down here, Robotnie? Yeah, I don't think... We'll see. I could be wrong, obviously, but I don't think they're going south. I don't think they're cutting down here, like I said in the previous video, and they're securing this road here, this highway, and pushing Russia away from the highway so they can bring in logistic trucks to support the front line, moving vehicles and what have you back and forth as needed. Here you can also see the railroads coming into the center of town. So let's take a closer look at the Dorozhnyanka Marfa point of contact tactical overview. Dorozhnyanka Marfa, this is what Ukraine most recently have taken, according to ISW. Dorozhnyanka Marfa. So this is the satellite image, and we've seen this before, haven't we? Farmland. Turkey shoot. If they want to cross, well, good luck. If they're gonna move down here, well, again, Turkey shoot. Russia just have to call in artillery to this narrow stretch of forest, and you can't move on. Again, no wonder they're making slow progress. Dorozhnyanka, a little bit of a close up here. You can tell where we are on the map. Russia is holding this town down here. Ukraine is up here, and this is what Ukraine has to cross. I mean, if you take, there seems to be a bulge here, so Ukraine might be down here, right? Not unthinkable. So Ukraine is in this tree line, exchanging fire back and forth. So they want to move down here and here, which are probably littered with Russians. Yeah, maybe do a Hail Mary and just take a couple of BMPs or Bradleys and just rush across the field and hope you don't hit a mine. How do you do this? How? Christ Almighty. And moving up to Marfa up here. Sorry for my cold and my coughs and my sneezes. Marfa, back to business. Ukrainian control, but I'm guessing, because it seems like the front line goes straight across the village here, so I'm thinking this is Russian territory, and probably this as well. And up here is where Ukraine is, so they're fighting over the river basically, and this intersection here. So Ukraine needs to come down here, 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 and clear out all these buildings, one after the other. And this farm here. This... Back again. Time to drink some coffee. This area gives Ukraine a little bit of room to maneuver, what it looks like, maybe. Some forest here, woods, buildings, tree lines. Maybe, I don't know. But this is more manageable. You can set up fire positions, suppress the enemy, and then move over here quickly with a vehicle, dismount, and start pushing in, right? Same thing. You suppress with vehicles, machine guns, grenade launchers, a couple of Carl Gustav recoilless rifles, if they're available. Just blast the farm, rush over with BMPs or BTRs, Bradleys, whatever they got, dismount, start clearing out buildings, securing the area, setting up fire positions, suppress the area, move on. And so this seems a bit more manageable, which is probably why the front line is going straight through the village, because it is more manageable. They've gained a foothold, and now it's a bit of a more traditional warfare, modern warfare, moving house to house, moving from covering the trees to the next patch of woods and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why the front line is probably going straight through the village. Both sides can make use of cover and actually advance and force their will upon the enemy back and forth. So what do I think Ukraine's goals are in the south? Well, they need to secure the road to the Azov Sea over at Makarivka, and they need to secure the large logistical hub that is Polowie, so that they can then push out from that logistical hub, provide their troops with all the supplies they need. And as shown here, if we look at Novosilka and Makarivka, and this road here, this highway, it goes right through all the Russian defenses. Down here, it's wide open, by the way. God damn it, sorry for that. Just won't give up, will it? Down here, it's wide open. Once they get through the Russian defensive lines, I should have added a map with that. They can basically, I think they will thunder run, go as far south as possible, and secure as much ground as possible, so that Russia can't just make new lines of defense to stop them. But first they need to push down here, secure all of this. It's going to take a couple of weeks, and then they will hit the Russian defensive line, and then they have to grind their way through it. But once they're through, they can start pushing down the road. Russia will obviously send in reinforcements, make new defenses, but you get the idea. And son of a bitch. Polowie, as you can tell, these lines with the arrows, railroad, dotted lines, highways. If Ukraine gets this, they can send in trains with supplies, they can move in trucks with supplies, and then send them south to support troops on the front line. And if they push south from here, there's a town called, what's it called? Chernivka, I think. Slightly to the east of Chernivka, there's a large railway hub that will also be useful for pushing on into enemy territory. So yeah, this is what I think Ukraine is after. This vital road here, heading south, to cut off Russians in the west. And then they need this hub to support the war effort into southern Ukraine and to liberate the occupied territories. And that's all I have for now. Hope you stayed with me to the end, and I hope it was interesting, and maybe you even agreed with me. If you didn't, why don't you let me know in the comments? So yeah, gå på marsch, Ukraine.